maybe, just maybe, you should consider buying a 2025 Honda Goldwing.
This video is sponsored by Cruiseman's Garage Honda Goldwing Maintenance Video Series.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Cruiseman's Garage. Today I want to talk to you about something that you may not have thought about. Now might be the best time and your last opportunity to buy a 2025 Anniversary Edition Goldwing. Now I'm referring in this video primarily to the Anniversary Edition. There is a 2025 Honda Goldwing that's not considered an Anniversary Edition. That's the silver model. I'm talking about the gold, the two-tone gold, or the red, kind of Cabernet red, or whatever they call it. Some wine name, that's all I can remember. Those two models are kind of special, and I want to talk to you about why you might want to consider buying one of those models. Now, let's take a look at what the objections some people have had on buying a 2025 Honda Goldwing. Well, you might say, Cruiseman, I already own a 2025 Honda Goldwing. And in that case, I can't argue with that. You've already got your Anniversary Edition. So there's no counter argument to that. Now, the next argument would be, well, I own a 2018 to 2024 Honda Goldwing that I'm very happy with. Maybe it's paid off, and is it really worth it to trade up to a 2025? Well, if you have a 2018 to a 2020, I can tell you what you're going to gain with a 2025 over what you have right now. And that is, you, as far as functionality and features, you will gain the larger trunk, which was a game changer for me. It was one of the biggest reasons I went ahead and moved from a 2018 to this 2024. Now, I had already upgraded the trunk on my 2018 to the larger trunk because I just could not deal with the smaller trunk of the 2018. And it really made a huge difference in the enjoyment, especially touring or even just around town, getting groceries or putting my helmet in the trunk. That was a big deal for me. Now, if you have a 2018 to 2024, what you're going to gain with a 2025 Honda Goldwing is you're going to gain wireless Apple CarPlay. And the little bit of time that I spent with the 2025 Honda Goldwing, which is just for maybe a week or two, and I did use the audio system a few times, I found it to be very reliable. The connections were very stable. It just seemed to work better than the previous model years. It seems like Honda has done something in the 2025 model to make the audio system, the Bluetooth connections, everything just seems to work smoother. Now, to be fair, what you do give up with a 2025 model is Honda's built-in satellite navigation. You're pretty much limited to either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto using something like Google Maps or Apple Maps or Waze, or if you have an external GPS, like a Garmin, mounted to your Goldwing, you'd rely on that for your navigation. I didn't find that to be a big deal killer for me because I never used Honda's built-in navigation. I had an external GPS if I needed it, and I got more and more dependent upon Apple CarPlay using Google Maps when I would go out of town. So the lack of the built-in satellite navigation was not a huge deal for me because I never cared much for Honda's integration of the navigation. Now, another objection you might have to getting a 2025 is you might say, well, I just don't like the colors. I'm not crazy about that two-tone gold. The red kind of it doesn't just do anything for me. I personally like the red. I think it's attractive. I think it's a nice color. I'm not as big a fan of the two-tone gold, but the two-tone gold does have some historical value and reference that the red doesn't have. So if you like that two-tone gold, which kind of harkens back to the anniversary editions of the 80s, I really think there's going to be some value in the future to that color scheme. Now, your other argument could be, well, I just want to wait and see what they do in 2026. Maybe I'm going to hold out and get a 2026 Honda Goldwing. And the only reason I would caution against that is I doubt that you're going to see any significant changes other than colors. I think there will be color changes. In fact, I would go so far as to say these anniversary colors you'll never see again. So they'll probably come out with a white or a black or something boring like Honda usually does. I doubt that you're going to see anything really exciting. It's possible. I could be wrong. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm just basing it off my experience with Honda. As far as significant changes or a new generation of Honda Goldwing, it's possible they could have a new generation of Honda Goldwing in 2026, but historically, Honda does not jump to a new generation after only 7 or 8 years. They'll usually wait 10 or 12 years. That doesn't necessarily mean they'll do it this time. They could jump to a new generation. I'm just speculating that they're not going to in 2026 because they made changes to the audio package on the 2025. They took out the navigation, they redid the screens, so the settings and all the menus and all the AM, FM, and Sirius XM, all those screens look different, they work differently, and I don't think they would have done that for a 1-year model change. I don't think they're not going to replace that for sure. So they also conducted some focus groups and surveys of current Honda Goldwing owners in 2024. And there's no way that Honda could act on that information quickly enough unless they were thinking and planning 2 generations ahead, which I seriously doubt. Usually when they're doing focus groups and they get a group of Goldwing owners together, maybe they did it through teleconference. I'm not sure how they did it this time. I participated in one many years ago before they came out with the 2018 model. And it took about 4 or 5 years. I think it was probably back in 2013 that I was a part of that focus group. So it took 4 or 5 years for them to implement all of that information and those changes that people were asking for. So I'm speculating if they're having focus groups in 2024, they're probably not thinking about making those changes in 2026. Of course, the 2025s were already out. Actually, I'm sorry, those focus groups were being held in 2025, not 2024. So it was just this year that Honda was having those focus groups. And there's no way they're going to, in a few months, be able to integrate any design changes or anything significant. That's just, again, all of this is based on my own opinion and my own speculation. You might see some changes, but I don't think it's going to be a complete revamp and a completely new generation. Fingers crossed, but if that's an objection or that's a reason you're holding out till 2026, for a brand new Goldwing generation, might be a mistake. There's also the possibility that if Honda comes out with a new generation Goldwing, let's say they do come out with a whole new generation in 2026, you may not like it. There might be things, just like people when they came out with the 2018, there were a lot of guys driving 2010 to 2009 or whatever to 2017, and they did not like the 2018. They liked the bigger luggage. They liked the form factor of the previous generation, and they were in no way going to update to the 2018. Well, the same thing could happen with the next generation Goldwing. If you're in a 2018 to 2024 right now, You may not like the 2026 if they come out with a new generation. And then you'd be stuck in your 2018 to 2024 with nowhere to go if you don't buy a 2025. So what are the reasons I think you might want to consider buying a 2025 Honda Goldwing? Number one, depending on your age, most Goldwing owners are 40 and above, even more are 50 or above, even more are 60 and above. It's unlikely that we're going to see another anniversary edition in our lifetime. This may be your last opportunity to own an anniversary model Honda Goldwing. And there is a perceived value to that. I'm not sure there's an intrinsic value to it, but there is a perceived value to an anniversary edition. So what I would say to you, especially on the two-tone gold model, because it has so much historic significance, but even on the red model, I would suggest that in 2035, that Goldwing will have more market value on the used market than this 2024 Honda Goldwing has in 2034. A 10-year-old 2024 Goldwing probably won't be as valuable as a 10-year-old 2025 Goldwing because it's not an anniversary edition. Now that's just my speculation, but there is a value to having an anniversary edition. Also, if you like that two-tone gold on the anniversary edition, I doubt you're ever going to see it again. Not until there's a 75th anniversary, and like I say, how many of us are going to be around for that or be able to ride a motorcycle? Now, if Honda comes out with a two-tone gold anniversary edition wheelchair, you know, maybe you'd be able to get into that, okay? But for most of us, this is your last chance. So from that perspective, I think an anniversary edition is probably a better investment. Now, why should you buy it now? Well, we're at the end of the year. We're probably days or weeks away from Honda announcing the 2026 models, assuming there's going to be a 2026 Honda Goldwing. That's something else to consider. If you're waiting around for a 2026, what happens if Honda decides, okay, 50 years is enough? Sales of Goldwings are not what they were 10 years ago. We're just going to drop the Goldwing model. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could happen. And then you're going to be stuck with whatever year model you have right now. You still have an opportunity to get a brand new 2025 Honda Goldwing Anniversary Edition. Now, I think there'll be a 2026 model. I'm hopeful. I don't see any reason why there wouldn't be, but you never know. I do know that Honda dealers are getting a lot of inventory in of 2025 models. Now, that usually means we're days or weeks away from Honda announcing the 2026 models, and they're cleaning out their warehouses. They're getting rid of any inventory they have of 2025s. And so dealers are probably heavy right now with 2025 Goldwings, more so than they might have been 6 months ago. 6 months ago, it might have been hard to find a 2025 Honda Goldwing. Now, I think their inventory levels are up. And that usually means, not necessarily, but it usually means that's to your advantage. You can make a deal, year-end deal. Plus dealers, you know, they're closing out the year. This is the best time before December 31 to buy a new motorcycle because it's not only a month end, it's a year end, and they want to make sales. So I would use that to my advantage if I were in the market and considering a 2025 Goldwing. Don't wait until 2026. Go to your dealer right now and hit them up for a deal. Now, I bought my 2024 Honda Goldwing from Southern Honda POWERSPORTS in Tennessee. Largest Honda Goldwing dealer in the country. I looked at their website right before I sat down to make this video. They appear to have a ton of inventory. They've got the red models, they've got the gold models. So they have models in stock. I also took a look at DFW Honda, which is here locally, and they too have got a lot of inventory of 2025 Honda Goldwings. So it looks to me like, regardless of which dealer you select, and I would definitely steer you toward purchasing from a powerhouse dealer if you have one near you. If you don't, you might want to consider flying to Tennessee and getting the motorcycle, or flying into DFW and getting one from DFW Honda. These are the two dealerships I know that I'm comfortable with, that I have worked with in the past. And like I say, I got my bike in Tennessee, did a road trip out there, beautiful ride, beautiful countryside. But make your deal now before the end of the year if you can. Now, if you purchase from Southern Honda POWERSPORTS, you can get a Cruiseman discount. You want to make sure you ask for it. They probably won't offer it unless you ask for it, but you should be able to get a $1,000 discount just telling them that you heard about this on Cruiseman's Garage. You want your Cruiseman's discount, and you'll also get a coupon good for $50 off my Honda Goldwing maintenance video series. So I'll just throw that out as a little extra. So anyway, put it in the comments down below. Why are you hesitating to buy a 2025 Honda Goldwing? Is it the color choices? Is it the money? What is it? Because I think now is probably the best time if you're ever going to buy one. It's the end of the year. They need to make a deal. You can probably take advantage of that. That's my message for you today. I'll put information in the description of this video for both Southern Honda POWERSPORTS and DFW Honda. Both of those are very easy dealerships to fly into from anywhere in the country. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you have any questions, I read every comment. I try to respond to every comment. We're coming up on Christmas in a few days. I want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. I will try to make another video before the end of the year. And thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next Cruiseman's Garage video.